Good morning, everyone. My name is Royce. I think the pillar is blocking some view, yes. So that I have a feel about the audience, may I know how many of you are not from Malaysia? Okay, so the rest are from Malaysia. I'm asking this because I want to make sure that my English is clear enough for you. Yeah, so please do like that if you want me to talk slower, and do like that if you want me to talk faster. Yeah, my name is okay. Thank you for inviting me, Prof. I'm from the company called Robert Bosch. The specific division is Bosch Rexroth. I've been with the company now for 26 years, and prior to that, I was in the automotive industry. So I'm newly retired this year, and I thought I can have easy life, but I'm now doing a lot of consulting and also for the government and also for banks and also for the industry. So I'm working more hours now than before I retired, but with less stress, and I don't know how to take up this temptation of doing a PhD. Yeah. All right. Uh, Today, I'd like to share with you the pain points and the Industrial 4.0 solutions for SMEs in Malaysia and ASEAN, and also in the world, because 96% of the industry, of all industry, 96% is the average of all industries are SMEs. Yep. So whatever I would say like that, whatever that you do, your biggest market is SME, and therefore SMEs that you do in your country, in Malaysia, you have to think very simple. If there is a degree that I like to introduce, it is called BSCS. It is called Business Sense and Common Sense. Yes. So whatever all this PhD thing, which frankly I probably am not the only PhD person here. I see brains and brilliance, but then when you go out to the market, good looks helps. Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe I share with you a bit of the company. The company is very unique. It's a very big company. It's 137 years old. 92% of the company belongs to a foundation. It's a charity company. Yeah. So before the owner passed away, after World War II, he did not support Hitler. He did not. So after what he saw, he said that technology, money, and power cannot be in the hand of one person. He's referring to himself and his family. So he sold, before he died, he created his will. He said 92% goes to the Bosch Foundation, 7% goes to the family, but he says the family will have no say on how to run the company. Wow. And even before he passed away, the company was very, very big already. Yeah. And then 1% he gave to the board of management. I have been trying to be a family member. After 26 years, my application has not come back to me. Yeah. And because of this unique constitution, after 37 years, they become number one literally in these industries. In mobility, everything to do with vehicles, from two-wheelers, two wheels to 18-wheelers, 24-wheelers. Then industrial technology in manufacturing line, in energy and building technology, and also consumer goods. Probably you know Bosch more from power tools because it's very noisy. Yeah. But even though we are number one in this area, and today we are also number one in this area, this business is only less than 3% of the company. Most other things, even a lot of people in Bosch do not know that Bosch is making so many things. Yeah. So how did they become great, and how do they reinvent themselves after 137 years? Yeah, bear in mind, when you are a foundation, when you don't have shareholders, when you don't have to report to shareholders and things like that, normally foundation die a natural death. After, so it has reinvented itself, and today we are market leader. Our headquarters is in Stuttgart. Our second headquarters is in Shanghai. Yeah, and so China is very important, constitute 25% of our business, and therefore I will share with you how we grow. Yeah, a bit of key figures on 2018. If you put the turnover of this company, 390 billion ringgit, about 80 billion euros, today would have exceeded 80 billion euros. You put into Malaysia, it is about 35% of Malaysia's GDP. So one company is more than one third of Malaysia's GDP. Yeah, it has, every year that I work there, they say not profitable, but every year they make lots of money. So, and also they spend a lot of unbelievable amount of money in R&D. Look at the sum. Just for 2018, they spent 7.3 billion, just pure R&D, not including equipment and building, yeah? So in Malaysian ringgit, it's about 38 billion ringgit. This is like an economy of some small little country by itself, you know. And we have only about 410,000 employees. Yeah? So it's like maybe 2 times the size of this township of, yeah. So and we have been in Malaysia now for 87 years, 85 years, and 86 years, and 87 years, yeah. So and in Penang for 47 years. So now in Malaysia, as you know, especially the island of Penang, is not a cheap place to operate. Penang now is very expensive, labor costs and all that, yeah. So how does Bosch become successful? Right. I started my industry in, I came back from Australia. I studied at RMIT. I did my postgraduate there. I'm an electrical engineer. And I enjoyed my life in Australia. When I came back for a holiday, I liked Malaysia very much. You know, I gave up my permanent residence in Australia. And when I came back to Malaysia, nothing was modern in Malaysia. It was a 3D country. You know what's a 3D country? Dirty, dusty, disgusting. We have no North Star Highway, we have no NKV, we have no KLIA, we have no Twin Tower. But when I came back to Malaysia, I made the right decision. I stayed here and I grew with the country. I contributed to the country, I grew from it. So in your respective country, especially if you are from Vietnam, I'm happy to tell you Vietnam is booming unbelievably and very quickly. So whatever lesson that Vietnam can take, they should learn from Malaysia because we had the same boom. Yeah, we had the same boom, but we are now getting to quite mature industry, and that for Vietnam should learn the mistakes that Malaysia made, and you should not repeat this. So now, how did Bosch grow to be such a big company and so successful? It's because of, please remember this word. It is called productivity. You can have all the formulas that you want to have. You can have all the ideas that you can have. But if the market do not buy the things that you make for your company, that's it. In one short cycle, the company closes. You lose. End of story. So that's why please remember BSCS. Business sense, common sense. Yeah, I remember when I was doing my postgraduate, I felt very good about the things that I did. And my professor came and said to me, Royce, whatever that you do is not useful for the next 50 years. Then why am I doing this? Yeah. So therefore, whatever that you do must have almost immediate application in the things to you. Now, if I go on, we have got of 409,000 people, nearly 69,000 are in pure R&D, pure and applied R&D. Yeah, and many of these are all PhDs. When I go into the room with them, I come out, I feel very clever because I'm breathing PhD air. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so now we are growing very fast. We are growing at 283 factories. Some factories somewhere in China, in Europe, in everywhere else. In Malaysia, we've got 3 factories. Now, when you have got 283 factories and growing, you have a serious problem. You know what's the problem? It's called connectivity. It's called real time. It's called you have to reach to the market very quickly because the market do not wait for you. Yeah. So please remember the success of Bosch, its most underlying success is ability to have productivity. Let me now translate to you what is productivity to the market. When we supply something to Mercedes, Audi, BYD, Proton, Perodua, Toyota, Mercedes-Benz, name it, every car company that we do, Volkswagen, we have a contract with them. Rather, they force the contract on us. We must give them year-on-year price reduction from 5 to 10%, compounding. Every year, the product that we sell must have 5 to 10% price reduction. So if the product, the cycle of the car is for 5 years, so what it is, if it's 10% per year, compounding after end of the fifth year, how much will be the part price? 50% reduction. So productivity means a price reduction every year, automatic. Anyone wants to have a salary that goes down every year? Right? Yeah, how do we do that? Now, I give you an example. Today, if you buy a mobile phone, whether it's Huawei, Samsung, or Apple, you buy it for 3,000 ringgit for this model. It's the same model, 3 years later, will you pay 3,000? Well, see, the market is demanding that I won't pay 3,000, maybe 2,000. Why? You're already used to this mindset. I demand to pay lesser, right? It is the same for the industry that we're in the automotive industry. Everything, the price, the product that we deliver has a contract that it must be reduced 5 to 10%. Now, whatever research that you do, if it is not driving towards the betterments of people's life or improved technology or price reduction, I am so sorry to tell you, it is not an applicable research. Yeah. Now, okay, I will. Every 30 minutes that we sit here, they have invented more than one new patent. Right? This company is one of the highest patent generator in the world. But please let me get your attention correct. Remember that creating patent or creating I'll be very careful that patents does not mean a new product. Patent can mean, most of the time, patent means a new. Anyone has an idea what would be most of the time invention is what? A product or what? Any idea? A process. Most of the time it's a process. It's a journey of many steps. I think the Japanese says it's better, kaizen. Yeah, it's a journey of many steps. Some steps, I give you one good example. What would be a process invention? Um, Anyone knows? In the car you have piston. Yeah, and then they have fuel injectors that injects the fuel. Yeah, so that's easy to understand. So normally the injection is this way, right? Now Bosch was able to design it in such a way that it becomes like a mushroom. So when the piston goes down, the injectors open out like a long jet. But when the piston goes up, the injector opens up like a mushroom. They atomize the fuel. Yeah. Therefore, this atomization burns better. Once they do that, less consumption and improve emission. It is a process. Yeah, and they had a patent, and that set us apart from our competitor. Next one would be, cars, internal combustion engine. Anyone knows what is the ratio of fuel to air? Okay, remember this number, it has never changed for the last 30 years. It's called lambda. The lambda number is 14 to 1. For 1 part of fuel, you must have 14 parts of air. Well, that's a lot of air, yeah, to compress into the combustion chamber. So, and the piston is going like that, and then the fuel, the airline is going like that. There's a throttle. When you step on the throttle, it moves the throttle here. In the past, it was just a long tube, and the throttle is like that. So when Bosch when they did an R&D, that this part here, when they are able to make a little curve to reduce the turbulence, so that the air flows better, that was a patent, and that changed many things. That improves efficiency, that reduces emission, that reduces fuel consumption. These are patents, yeah, and a lot of money goes into it. So then let me go on some more. So what do we do in Penang? Penang, we do car multimedia, which is very high-end sophistication. And we also do car steering racks and power tools, and all of them are exported. If you are coming from countries where your country depends on export, now export has its problem, is logistic, is what Prof Prams specializes in. It's a complete logistic supply chain. Yeah, you have to deliver by ship. If you miss the ship, air freight, and that's money, right? So if the only time you will know that you are very successful, whatever that research that you do, the company that you work in, your contribution to the company is successful when you're able to help the company win a lot of export. That is your singular success indicator. If you're a domestic, you have monopoly of domestic, is no big deal. Yeah, so that's why China has been very successful and they have grown, but now they're also hitting the wall because labor costs have gone up in the coastal. You know, for Industrial 4.0, which country is the biggest customer of Bosch? It's China. When we think that, China has got low labor costs, no, but in China, they are our biggest customer for everything on Industrial 4.0 because they want to increase productivity. Yeah. So presently, we are exporting about 5.5 billion ringgit worth of these goods out from Malaysia to all over the world. And these are to OEM. You know what is the meaning of OEM compared to normal market? When you order something from Lazada or Alibaba, that is not OEM. OEM means whatever the customer said, please deliver at 12:30 today, it is 12:30 today. It is JIT, it is synchronous delivery. But in a lot of people in our mind, a lot of people, you know what's JIT? Just in time. But in our culture in Southeast Asia, they have JIT and JIC. You know what's JIC? Just in case. Yes, you say, oh, that's very good, JIT. But then when you open the warehouse, you see a lot of goods there, and you say, what are these? This is JIC, just in case JIT failed. Now, Industrial 4.0 addresses this. If you have a lot of JIC, that means it's a lot of holding cost. Yeah. So now in Bosch, we are now very much into, a lot of people do not know, including people inside Bosch, that we are now growing very strongly in everything to do with non-manufacturing IoT. In smart agriculture, farming, food, smart city, in e-mobility and telemedicine, connected and smart, and of course manufacturing. In fact, this e-mobility is so unique. China has about 96% market share in the world, 96. Yeah, simply because of two major reasons. Number one, it was government's regulation. All tier 1 cities cannot have gasoline motorcycle. It's a government policy. Yep. Number two, you can have government policy, but if you do not have technology driver, enabler, it can never work. So in China, we are the largest supplier for complete electrification of the motorcycle, including the IoT to the HMI. HMI is human machine interface, which means your mobile phone now is connected to your motorcycle. Right. And incredibly, the price goes down. Unbelievably cheap because of the economic volume and the technology. How cheap is cheap? You are looking at 3,000 ringgit for electric motorcycle. From two-prong, government's decision and technology combined together, you better the life of people and environment improvement. And this, again, is Industrial 4.0. Because now with the mobile phone, you can switch on your motorcycle. You can switch it off. You know where it is, how far this is going. You can rent out your motorcycle to somebody that you don't see the bike. The bike is somewhere else. But when the person texts you and says, I want to use your bike, you give him a code, the encryption code to his mobile phone. He keys it in, the bike can start. And you know where it's going, and you can charge him accordingly. So there will be a boom of this business, yeah. And so we are also very strong in other areas, which I now will show you. In agriculture. Now, guys, how many of you think this line of work is sexy? I see India. Are you from India or Malaysia? India, yes. Yes. India and China, Africa particularly needs this because the continents are big, yeah. Now, we have now programs in India and sugarcane in India and in Japan, tomatoes and vegetable growing and also Germany. And we are not, by the way, talking about water, you know. We are not talking about water. We are not talking about irrigating. That is old science. That is old science. In sugarcane, it's affecting the social development of the people, the economics, because in a lot of farmers, small farmers, their land might be half an acre, 1 acre, 2 acres. They are so anxious to chop their sugarcane and send to the mill. Everyone is so anxious. They're so afraid that if they don't chop, they don't sell to the mill. And so you know what they do? Everyone chops it, and when they come to the mill, it's a long queue. Everyone on their bicycle, there's long queue of sugarcane. And they wait and wait the whole day, they queue there. And you know what happened when it comes, and when the mill cannot accept it anymore, the mill says, sorry, today we can't accept. And you know, they take it back. Anyone knows what happens to sugarcane after one day? Turns sour. It loses its value. And the next day when they go to the mill rejects it. Yeah. So, and not only that, did you know that sugarcane has sugar spike and troughs? You don't cut sugarcane anytime that when it looks like tall and sexy, you know. Yeah. You need to know what is the sugar content. I didn't know that. So, yeah. So now when you talk about that, so how do you solve this social development problem? And so in Bosch, we are not sugarcane expert. I only know how to eat it. Yeah. So we work with agronomists, and therefore, if one word that you must remember, Industrial 4.0 needs teamwork. Your contribution needs to work with agronomists. Actually, also need to work with the local government there because they are the one that wields it. So you know, in sugarcane, if you know India, the place is so big, yeah. Even access to go to the place is very difficult. Unlike us, unlike in Malaysia, we have got better access and things like that. So even putting sensors, because okay, all right, maybe I have skipped one place. Yeah, there is three pillars of Industrial 4.0 that must be observed. Just so kindly remember these three pillars in heart. It is called sensors. It is called software. It is called services. It must be in this direction. Sensor, sensing, data acquisition. Then you have softwares to do the data analytics and the AI, and then the services. What is services? On how to solve the problem, how to improve productivity. So please remember, it's called the 3S, not secret services. It is, what is it again, please? I sound like I'm giving a lecture, yeah. No, I sound like I'm giving a lecture to undergraduates. Okay, just remember the 3S, sensors, software, and services. And as esteemed PhD people that you are, which of these pillars do you think you find your contribution greatest? Any idea? Services? Anyone else? Huh? Software? Anyone else? These three? Sensor, software, and services. Services. Where would be most of the money? Huh? Software, sensors, service. Okay. Sometimes it depends on which country you're coming from. Okay. India is very strong in software. Yeah. Where the money don't come for you ever, so don't try, is in the sensor. Unless you got economy of scale, like China, where they have economy of scale and usage, or in Europe or in America. Making sensors presently, Bosch is probably one of the top 2 largest sensor maker in the world. How many sensors do we make is unbelievable. And your mobile phone, 60% of all mobile phones in the world, from Apple to Orange and things like that, every brand there is, it contains a lot of sensors from Bosch. Temperature sensor, vibration sensor. So when you do steps, it's calculating the vibration. It has got a GPS sensor. Without GPS sensor, you can't do what? Google Map and Waze. Yeah. And without temperature sensor, you cannot charge your phone because it will explode. Right. So all these are micro sensors, nano sensors inside your phone. And that makes a difference. But sensors cost so much money to research and to make. I would say that as a job prospect, that is not where you want to go because you need that kind of investment. So the other two will be in the software and the services. Most of the money is actually in the services. Yeah. So we actually have a career talk right now. Yeah. I'm saying this, you know why? When I was doing my postgraduate in Australia, I happened to read government research on the newspaper. It says the salary of postgraduates. Wow, there's teaching, then there is R&D, then there is manufacturing, and there's one that was so high that I decided on the point I'll do that. And my professor, when I came back, he was very upset with me. That's why I'm not doing a PhD. What I did was I saw that in all sectors across, it was services. Specifically at that time was called sales and business acquisition and development. So I decided to do that. My parents were shocked and my professor was shocked, which is supposed to be in research or in teaching. So I made a decision. I came back here to do something that's non-electrical engineering. That makes him worse, yeah? All right. So very quickly, this is an example of what we have already done in Tasmania, in oysters. In the coast of Tasmania, the coast is very long. I think about 100 over kilometer. There are a lot of farmers there, and for such a long time, the oysters die. You know what the oysters die of? How many of you like oysters? Oh, okay, right. You have a lot of shy people here, yeah. Okay, it's this big industry for the people there. Oysters take a long time to grow. Okay, now oysters is afraid of one thing. The salinity change suddenly. Suddenly, it can accept change of salinity, but gradually, like us, yeah, we cannot handle surprises too often. It's also shocked by sudden temperature drop. Yeah, if those of you who are from cold countries like North China or even in Australia, the temperature can drop from 25 degrees to 15 degrees in half an hour. And that's a shock to the system. And the oysters die. So for a long, long time, the farmers depend on the newspaper or the TV to tell them what is the air temperature in their location. Now with sensors and things like that, you see, sensors, software, services. This is the fundamental of Industrial 4.0 or IoT. Yeah. So now, because of sensors at a specific location, and with the data analytics, we work with the universities. Again, I say to you, we are not oyster grower. We need to work with the agriculturists or the marine people. Yeah. And then all the farmers get is information, timely information at their location. Tomorrow, the next 2 days, temperature expected to drop in your water. And you know what's the solution? What is the solution to this to prevent the oysters from being shocked? This farm hen, a hen as H-A-N-D, not H-E-N, yeah. She goes to the place, and because the basket where the oysters are put is on the surface, all that she needs to do is lift this up to the water surface. That's it, here, above the water. Yep, for 1 or 2 days. And that saved the oysters. So the solution is free. The remedy is nearly zero cost. So what is it that they need here? Okay, but they don't make senses. They can't make senses. Okay, maybe I will say, what does the farmer need? Information. Not only information, but timely information to their location. Right. So happen, all these people that we are working with, they are researchers, they are PhD, they're also, what do you call PhDs who are doing PhDs? Not yet finished. Huh? We call undergraduate. graduates for bachelor degree. Huh? Right. Okay. Whatever they're called. Yeah. If you don't like them, we call them something else. Yeah. So these are the data, and incredibly now that easily the farmers are not educated people. The farm hands don't care to look at a lot of data. They only need to know in your location tomorrow, this is the thing. Yeah. And she or he will have to decide what I want to do. She can do nothing, but unlikely. Yeah. All they need to know is data. Now, I'd like to ask you this question. Is this kind of solution cheap? Okay. Please kindly remember the BSCS. If you're not able to make it cheap for the public and for the people, you have not achieved what you want to do. This is now so cheap that we don't even charge the farmer for census and things. We charge them a subscription.